go. It's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, and we've got some new map, well, new mode on an old map. Goodness. From Cliffy, Clan GFLC. He is in a setter. How many setter games do you see? How many setter games do you see featured on a channel? Well, this is an exclusive. Because I don't know if Cliffy gave it to somebody else. Maybe he stepped out on us and sent it to somebody else. No, I asked for replays, and specifically for some of the new modes on the old maps. We have two of those. We have STEEEEPS, and one other. I don't remember what it is. Oh, Redshire Dwarf. So we're on Himmel's Steep Dwarf. We have Cliffy in a tier 7 setter, not the most popular tank out there. I quite like it. His setup is Binox in the bonus slot. He's got low noise exhaust, bounty type, and he's running a turbo. He's also running food. So we got some goodness going on here, a little extra bonus action. He is middle tier, and we have Steeps, which has a new assault mode, and you can see that everyone spawns up here on the green side, up in the northeast, and you have to down to the southwest. Let's see how Cliffy goes about this. When I first saw this, I had a couple ideas on how I thought it might go, but I was a little bit surprised. I sort of kind of fast forwarded some of it to see what his general flow was and the general flow of the teams. And it was a little bit different, I think, than I would have expected. And I don't know how many games Cliffy had before he, in this map and mode before he got this one. Maybe it's the first. I don't remember. He'll have to let us know down below. So he kind of goes blitzing straight through here. And I thought the middle would be a little bit more of a dead ground, unused, but it looks like, at least initially here, that there's a bit of action in the middle. And I think the enemy scouts are kind of doing a similar thing to what Cliffy's doing, just sort of moving forward through the middle and then around the edges a little bit, trying to get contact. You know, it really isn't that big of a map. And see, he gets spotted by somebody. What other sneaky guys do we have? We have a 1357F, so I would imagine the 1357F saw him. Could have been one of the mediums too. But I don't know where maybe that guy would have been. So we'd have to go back there, but potentially I think they can get into this rock up here in the middle, right about there, pretty easily without you being able to counter scout him. So if he gets into one of these bushes in the middle here, and maybe even over in this area, but I think Cliffy might have seen him if he was running around the open. So that's my best guess. Potentially over here, maybe. Don't know. Again, I didn't really pay too close attention what the line of sight was, but it looked like, based on the rock he was by, it's probably that middle area. So the scout counter scout thing is going to be kind of interesting, initially especially. Cliffy kind of comes back, so let's see what happens line of sight wise. Does he get seen again? Looks like he's looking from that direction. I suppose I could back up and look exactly where it came from. You know what? Let's just do that, my friends. We're trying to learn some stuff here, you know what I mean? And with those little directional indicators, you can definitely learn some stuff. So Cliffy comes here, he's messing around, gets lit, and then gets hit from that direction. So I am completely incorrect. Looks like he's in this bush right here, potentially. So he's moved up along. He hasn't gone too far then. Hasn't gone too far. Now we're going to bail out. All right, so there you go. And that would kind of check, because where they spawn, that's not a far drive for him to get into those bushes. And that's going to kind of lock down the middle pretty quickly, as you saw right there. Cliffy did has two marked this time. That's pretty good. Artie's flailing around at everybody. So we're going to hang out on this edge. We'll get the IS lit. Looks like the Lurva has gone over to the east side. And we have kind of a push. As suspected, guys are going up and on the other side of the tracks to move forward. There's the 1357. That's probably the guy that lit him earlier. A little bit surprising, to be honest, because, oh, you know what? I bet he was in the middle. I'm having a complete brain fart right here. The Cromwell comes up in proxy lights. That was the guy that shot him, not the guy that spotted him. All right, he got hit by the Jackson. So we know where the Jackson was. Probably this dude was in the middle. So we've lost a bunch of hit points early right here. But it looks like that middle area is pretty easy to get to from the defending spawn. We're going to move back around this way. So only the Lurv has gone this way, along with a Scorpion G and an M4A3E2. The Renagati, 45 TP, KV85. There's a good force heading down here. So looks like potentially a heavy brawl down in that corner with a slightly different twist, because apparently it looks like because of the spawn point that the purples can get up and around that corner and then go hold down in some of those rocks. So it'll be interesting to see how that heavy brawl pans out, or if it kind of stays a place people go. It does look like the fastest route to threaten the cap, though, if you look at the two spawn points, because the drive down to the south and around the corner is much longer, and this is where Clippy's looking around right now. Lost a bunch of hit points right off. The Lurva took some hits, so there is some defense going on over here. Clippy's going to start moving up along here. Boy, this could be a little bit dangerous. One of my concerns on this map is people getting up, because they're fairly close to it, this spawn, getting up into these hills up here and getting a spotter in there and just locking down this whole flat. And then you've got hold down snipers sitting over here. Cliffy was able to move up. Ooh, yep, there's somebody right there. Oh, it's an entire scorpion. They have two of them? They do. Alright, so he's getting shredded. Cliffy takes a shot of opportunity and then bails out. Looks like the team's doing well. They've got 4 down so far. And one of them is the Scorpion G. They've only lost the HTC. Look at the push over on the west side. Now it's starting to look a little more standard the way this particular map is played, right? Looks like the north spawn has kind of done what the north spawn usually does, no matter which mode you're on. You've got a big push coming down here. So this whole problem right here over on the west flank is exactly the same as it would be in the other mode. Although the spawn or the cap point is right there. So that's interesting. Now that fight looks like it usually does. They lost a lot of tanks getting there, at least the purples did. So the other Scorpion's sort of sitting here in the middle. It's not a great spot for him, to be honest. The Lurva hasn't really left cap. I don't know if he's AFK or moving or what he's doing. The Carnarvons hold down in that kind of standard spot. I guess they all just sort of hung back. I mean, it looks to me like, I don't know, guys. This could be a pretty static map for Assault. I don't see a whole lot of reason for the defenders to move very far, to be quite honest. That defensive point where the Carnarvon is so strong. The only bummer for the purples, if they really hold tight, is their Artie's going to have really nowhere to go. It'll start to get easily spotted back in that corner, back around where the cap is. So it's not looking like that's a great idea. Now, I don't think it's a great idea on any of the defense maps to sit around the cap. Generally, you need to get to the flanks and keep them back a little bit, because once they collapse you into a corner, in this case the southwest, it's usually very, very bad. Unless you've already killed a bunch of them and it's late game and you're turtling up. Situation like this, they're starting to lose a lot of map control, and that's just bad, especially if you have artillery. And in this case, there's 3 oh, geez, that dude just hammered a 1357 with the Artie. Looks like he's going after. Nope, never mind. The other M44 killed it. So their poor scout thought he was maybe going to make a run. I was about to mention he hasn't been seen for a while, but he's ended up dead right there. So like I was babbling on about, you generally do not want to get stuffed into a corner like that, especially with 3 Artie, because as you get lit, they're just going to keep pounding, and once they soften you up enough. Also, then the green team has the ability to kind of move around where they want. Cliffy continuing to use it. I wonder if it's better to maybe move along these ridges up here, potentially there, Cliffy. I don't know. You might not be able to get there, though, because the Super, the Jackson, the Scorpion are so close. It would be hard to cross that open area to get to the south part. But it looks like the Lurva is attempting to do that, and maybe the Scorpion G. They crossed without being seen. Or at least they didn't get shot at, so it looks like you got seen. Holy cow, that Artie would be scary at this point. If for some reason they were aiming near that area, or they just got a lucky Artie snap on you. This blew my mind. Now, I don't know if he's still spotted. He's obviously paying attention to the other Scorpion. But Cliffy seems to be sort of driving around in the open, gets some extra damage on that Scorpion. And I'm just surprised, but now he's down below the ridge right there. I think an Artie shell comes in here, yeah. So he was seen at some point going to that position. There's a P-43, then he sees the Hellcat. The Hellcat gets nuked. We're up to 1,900. Assist, 229 damage. Now this is what I kind of figured would happen on this map as you start to win. Guys are going to start filtering through these southern hills here. Get overwatch on the defenders trying to play hold down. I think maybe the biggest weakness of the total turtle, we'll call it the total turtle in the southwest there, is this. If somebody can get into this position up here and start spotting these guys, it's going to be very painful for the purple. So I would say, much like I think it's Karelia, you're going to need to get to the flanks and defend without sitting back here. But look, the T-20 sat there. The Lurva was around cap. He's moving now. He's moved to the north. Looks like they beat that attack. Or at least they pushed it back, because only the Renegade and the Scorpion are sitting there. And we got Cliffy starting to filter forward. We're up to 2,300 assists. We got an Artie gets nuked. That's beautiful. The other Hummel is the only enemy Artie left. I think he gets lit by the T-20 here. Yep. Takes a hit. Hits the Hummel. Kind of surprised Hummel doesn't get a shot at him. I'm not sure what it's looking at. T-20 still sitting on cap. I think you're going to see a lot of that probably on this map and mode. Get a shot on him. A little kill shot. He gets a shot there. Ooh, man. See, I do that all the time, too. He does the back out. When he shot, did you notice he went backwards? Just probably out of habit. He stopped like, oh, crap, and go for... I do that all the time. And I don't know why you poked out this early, man. That was a little bit dangerous, or a lot of bit dangerous, and she got killed, but whatever. It's not like I've never done that myself. Maybe you thought he was too busy looking at stuff. He was stunned, so hopefully he misses, but he did not. I think he's shooting the little gun. Yeah, 151. Looks like he's shooting the little gun on there. Is that... No, that's all... No, that's a T-20, not a T-21. So probably the stock gun there. The 76 or 75, whatever it is. Lurva pushes in. Now, this is pretty funny. We're going to watch the rest of this, because what happens here is a cap win. The Beast, 144, gets on the cap, or at least pushes into the T-20. Scorpion G nukes the T-20. We have a Carnarvon and a Lurva, and these guys just cap. The Renegade is taking on the Carnarvon, who's trying to probably finish up the Renegade so we can get back maybe to cap. Renegade makes a runner to survive, and that was a pretty good move on his part right there. Grab a little cover. And it looks like Israel Red isn't really in a position to push across. We're at 14 seconds. There's still 3 Artie raining down on the purples right there. Somebody actually jumped off cap. Looks like the Lurva decided to come off cap. And we finish this thing up. Ends up being a win. So thanks for sending that, man. That was kind of interesting. I guess it sort of went the way I thought it might. I think purple teams, the defending teams, are going to be very tempted to turtle up here because it seems like a very strong position. But as we've talked about, I think you've got to get over here somehow. And I don't know, to be honest, because if you spawn, I think they spawn right near the cap, maybe to the south. I don't know if you can get to this corner to stop the #1 spawn from getting up and getting hold down. So then you're fighting from this open ground here, and I don't know if that's going to work. So this southern thing is going to be very interesting to see how it pans out, how the meta evolves on it, where you need to go to stop them from turning this corner. Because if they get up into these southern hills, and that's what we've talked about before, the spotting opportunities for things down here, especially with Artie, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. I thought the push to the north was a good idea, but they only had a couple of them, and they got beat, and then they had to fall back to that corner. So could be an interesting one. If you guys have any other examples of this map and mode with the assault, send it to me, because I'm very curious how this one's going to kind of gel. Thanks for coming by, guys. I do appreciate the support of the channel. We will see you.